Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. My name is David James. We are here with Bridging the Gap. We are a local producer. We are not part of PAC 14. We use this platform to bring forth information, but once again, the information we bring forth is not the thought and feeling of PAC 14. We do appreciate them allowing us to use this as our avenue of bringing forth information, and we hope you enjoy. Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. I'm here with my friend, longtime friend, Mark Thompson. Mark?
Dave, good to see you.
Great to have you on here.
Right.
Now, I know I could give you a title, but you have so many titles.
There has been a lot of titles. And I tell people, I've gotten to the age now where it's not about titles. It's about being a servant for the people.
Amen.
I started off as a minister at First Baptist Church.
Yep, I remember those
Or
days.
a deacon. I was a deacon, and then I went to a minister and moved over to Emmanuel Wesleyan Church. And no problem. I just never really wanted to be a pastor. I just wanted to serve.
I understand that one.
And all my buddies, all my friends, all want to be pastors. I just want to serve. So I moved over to Emmanuel Wesleyan Church and worked with Pastor Tom Bunting.
Yes,
and he had this
great
program
man.
called Adopt a Block. And it was right up my alley from serving. And people there called me Pastor Mark. And then when Pastor Tom stepped back and his son took over, and his son's name's Mark. So he's
Mark
Pastor
Bunting,
Mark.
right.
So we were getting kind of confused. So I told people, just call me Mark. It's fine. But yeah, we've been over there at Emmanuel now for 14 years.
Wow. You said Adopt a Block.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about Adopt a Block.
Wow, Adopt a Block started off a vision, again, with Pastor Tom, where it's not new. It came from Reverend Tommy Burnett in Los Angeles, California.
Oh,
They had something called the Dream Center. And what they did with the Dream Center, they accomplished everything. They were a holistic approach to people. Feeding, shelter, and clothing. And Pastor Tom had that vision because he was always a pastor about being out in the community.
You got to be out there.
You got to be out there.
You got to be out there.
And that's what I enjoyed. So I went over with him, and it started off with just 5 people going around every other Saturday in a little green pickup truck with about 30 bags of food down here, right on the east side, Church Street
area,
Naylor, Baker. So our route was Baker, Naylor, Church, and Charles Street.
Wow.
And that's what we did. We kept doing that.
Now, what did you do with them?
We packed food and just went to the doors and knocked on the door and say, "Hey, Emmanuel Wesleyan, we love you. We have some food." This was before, but we did this consistently every other Saturday for years. Pastor Tom retired. He said, "Hey, you take it over." But we grew from having, it was 5 people in that green pickup truck to hundreds of volunteers going out. And we always prayed for a building. Now, here's how long we've been doing this.
Okay.
Hotel Esther was still up.
I remember that place.
Right there on the corner of Church and Naylor. We used to walk the streets delivering food saying, "Oh, Lord, send us a building. Let's have Hotel Esther." That we could do that holistic approach of giving people clothes and shelter and food.
Wow.
Everything kept dropping, kept failing. But I always say, when God closes the door, there's another one just waiting for you. And little did we know, 2 years ago, there was a building that was in shambles, right there on the corner of Benny Street and Clay Street.
Which is how close to the Hotel Esther?
Right around the block. Now, here's what I just like about this story, and I tell people, it was the old Culligan Software building.
Okay.
It was terrible. We were able to purchase it at a very reasonable price, brought in contractors and refurbished it, and now it's our Benny Street outreach. What I tell people is that building was just like you and me before we met Christ.
Ooh, broke down.
in shambles.
Wow.
But once you meet the maker, he will remake you.
He is the power.
And that's a whole. That's a.
Well, no, that's good stuff right there.
So now we have a building, 818 Benny Street, and I just tell you, I had some notes here. Just the past year, we served over 10,000 people have come through our doors.
Just last year,
getting food.
Wow.
We've had 262,000 pounds of food that we've been giving away.
262,000.
But here's what's so special about Benny Street, Adopt the Block Outreach. We started a few years ago. It was called a Client Choice Pantry. Because we found when we give people bags of food, they go through it and they say, I keep this, I throw that away, I keep that. A lot of waste. We want to make people feel empowered.
Sure.
So now we set up what's called a Client Choice Pantry. You come in our building, we love on you and say, hey, here's our pantry. It's called the Bread of Life Pantry. And you can go and pick out the items that you need for your family.
Wow.
Free. And that's what we do.
Wow. So during all this, is there any families that actually started coming to your church because of this?
We have some, but you know what we want to do is just love on people and let them know.
The goal was just to be there for them.
But it's funny you should say that. Some people just don't want to go to the big church, and Emmanuel's huge, but it's once you get inside, it's small. But still, some people it's just too big for them. That's why we're going to open up in January a church at Benny Street.
Hearing it here first.
Stay tuned for that one.
Wow.
And see what we have. So we're going to have, it's not going to be a traditional church, but it's going to be a place for people to come hear the word, get loved on, get food, get what they need. I'm calling it soul food.
I love it.
Food for your soul.
I love it.
There you go. So we're going to open that up in January. So we'll hear more about that soon.
Now, I also remember when I was a much younger man, you were actually the director over at the Salvation Army.
Wow. Yeah. You remember those days?
I remember those days. I remember a lot of the young people that didn't have a place to go during the summer. They knew who Mr. Thompson was.
Wow. You know, that was, wow. You remember, I think you had hair.
I did have
You did have hair.
I did.
But you know, the Salvation Army was such a blessing to me. Because I moved here to the Eastern Shore as a manager with Federal Express, or FedEx. I moved here and I spent I was with FedEx for 25 years. 8 years right here in Salisbury. And then something hit me and said, I gotta do more. And that's when I retired from FedEx and took over for, it was called the West Salisbury Youth Club at the time.
I remember that. Wow.
The West Salisbury Youth Club. And it was so ironic, Dave. I can still remember my first day at the club. I retired from FedEx. I went to the West Salisbury Youth Club. I sat in my office, and there was nobody in the building. I mean, they had a latchkey program, that was about it in the afternoon, but nothing was going on. So I'm sitting there, and I got up and started walking around, and I'm praying, saying, Lord, why did I leave FedEx to come here? I took a substantial pay cut. And I walked around, I looked outside, and there was a young boy sitting outside on the playground about 9 o'clock. Still remember the story. And I said, what's he doing there? And I went out, and I brought him in, and I called over to, I call one of my mentors, Frank Great. He passed on several years ago. And I said, Mr. Great, I got this boy over here. And he said, describe him. He said, I know he is. I'm not going to give the name.
Don't you love how they don't know my name, but they know my description?
They know him. He came over and got him. And from that day, we started, planted a seed, which was called the New Day Youth Development Center. What we discovered through the local management board was that, and I knew that kids were being, and I wasn't part of the school system at the time. I just came from FedEx. And I said, you know, I've helped mentor kids in the school. But I found what happened is, it's not about the reading, writing, arithmetic.
No.
They don't know social skills. They don't know communication. They don't get along with adults. So we set up with Miss Kathy Townsend, and she was the principal at the time. Another one of my mentors, her and Dr. Margot Handy.
I remember. I know Mrs. Handy.
They really shaped me. But we set up this program.
Maurice Handy's wife.
Yes.
Yes.
We set up this program for when kids were suspended from school. Instead of them sitting home, they came to us at the Salvation Army. if it was 5, 10 days, whatever.
Wow.
And we would work with them on how to get along with people.
This is before choices.
Oh, well, choices was, yeah, there was some configuration of choices. But this was more of when you suspend a child from school and you send them home, what purpose are you serving?
Good point.
They're just sitting at home.
Playing video games while you're at work.
Well, and building up more frustration.
Yep.
So here they came to us, and we had a staff that would work with them. And the best part about it, because we're still doing it at the Salvation Army, doing the after-school program. We have my friend Clarence Hudson, C4C Enterprises. They cook all over the town. But they cooked for our after-school program. And during the day, while the kids were at the building, they would smell home-cooked food.
Wow.
Even some children, the roughest ones, I would send them there with Miss Claire, and she'd make them peel potatoes. She'll make them clean chitlins.
Discipline.
She'll make them clean chitlins.
Not chitlins.
Chitlins,
Ooh.
man. But what we found out was we developed a relationship with these children to get them feeling like someone does care. Now,
Absolutely.
we need you to go back and do better. And it worked. We did that program for about 6 years.
Wow.
And that's what we did at the Salvation Army, and from that we grew all the after-school programs. And,
Wow.
It was amazing until, I left after about 6 years.
But you know, it's unique, Mark. I talked to Jermichael, and I like to call him
Yeah.
Mr. Community. But
Mr.
way before Jermichael and myself, where you were a great pioneer of this, and a lot of us looked at you as a role model. Now,
Well, you know, we always tell the young ones, and Jermichael was one of the little ones, the young ones. I said, I remember when I came to Eastern Shore, Mr. Billy Jean Jackson Park.
oh wow.
I never met him, but it was Mr. Billy, and oh my God, now you're getting me. He was the drummer over at elementary school. He passed away too, but I always look at my elders and say, okay, what did they do?
Wow.
And we're not their ceiling. We're their floor. Now it's for us to step on them and on their shoulders and go high.
I like that.
And that's what I like to see now is young people. Now I'm to that age now, I'm looking back, and these young people, Sean Tucker. I remember Sean Tucker was in my program.
We graduated together.
You graduated?
Yeah, last year.
See? You guys, I remember when you were young.
Wow.
So I always try to leave. The best thing you can do, when you talk about titles, it's not about titles. You got to leave a legacy. Do
Amen.
something that people can stand on.
Leave
and
your
grow.
fingerprint on the community.
Yes.
Wow. And I think you have definitely been doing that. I remember you and I spoke one day. You came into a place I was working, and you looked at me and said, you know who you are? You are the agitator.
Oh,
of this
no.
county."
You know how I said it?
What's
I
that?
said, what's in a washing machine these days that cleans clothes? And you thought about it. And I said, what really cleans? It's that agitator.
Wow.
And we need it. But you know what's so funny now about that?
What's that?
These new washing machines don't have it.
No, they don't.
That's why the world is such a... There's no one out there shaking it up to get the dirt off.
That's the truth.
And we need people.
They're going with the flow instead of going against it and making sure everything's...
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes you gotta buck the system, and I did it. I always did it and then asked for forgiveness. Sorry about that.
Well,
but that's
no, that's a good thing,
you know. But I want to do what's right. What's moral, what's right. I always would never ask anybody to do anything that's illegal or immoral, or that I wouldn't do.
Right.
And that's how. So that's what we did at the Salvation Army, and then I was so blessed then to go from there to.
You're pastoring now too, right?
Well, I did for about a year and a half. I'm still, and we're gonna come back to it. But I did that pastoring down in Chrisfield Church, year and a half down in Chrisfield. Really enjoyed that.
You have the heart for it, brother.
I just love people, and I love ministering to people.
Now, I do want to talk about the school system, but we're going to do that when we come back from our break here in a few seconds. But before we do that, I was talking to the county executive, and I mentioned your name. She said, "I just love Mark." What do you know about the county executive?
County Julie Giordano. You know, she's doing a good job.
Yeah,
I know them all.
She stays busy.
You know, people always say, "Well, who do you vote for?" It's not about who I vote for. It's whoever's in office, I work with them.
That part.
I work with them, and then when you're in there, I try to give what my advice, what I see. And hopefully, you'll listen. You'll shift it out and say what's good, what's bad. But she's working.
She's
working.
She went from a teacher to running the county. That's a big change.
It's really...
Well, not, in a lot of ways it's not. She'll let me know, well, no, you're still dealing with people.
But people in any elected office, and I can see maybe even one day you get there, don't change. You got to be yourself. And one thing it's about, you got to work for what's right. And sometimes it's not about who paid and got you in there.
That part.
So that's why I stay apolitical. I stay out of the political. The most political I ever got, I was president of the school board.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I was president of the school board. And I think my biggest accomplishments on the board was raising the GPA to 2.0 for extracurricular activities.
Because it was 1.6 when I was
1.56.
Wow, I didn't know about that part.
It was so low.
1.5.
And I see the kids come over and play with my son, and they go, "We want to be D1 guards." And I said, to go to a Division I school,
you got to have
a good grade. You got to have above a 2.5. So we did that. We passed some other discipline things, but I just enjoyed my time in the school system. Opened my eyes, and it made me say, I want to be a principal.
Huh, okay.
So I served my 5 years, came off. Then it was so fun, ironic how it worked. I came off the board, and they said, you're going to have to wait a year to be completely removed from the board. And I was like, now you tell me. But that's okay. So during that time, oh my goodness, I worked at One Stop Job Market teaching GED. I ran the summer camp at First Baptist Church. Almost closed up Salvation Army at the time, but kids came over to me.
Everybody came over there.
Everybody came here.
Wow.
I did that. I'm trying to think, what else did we do? Worked at Del Mar. I love Del Mar Middle High School. Isla Preston, if you're watching. Shout out to Isla. Another one. I've had a lot of great people
and I've noticed that you do a lot of pictures of people that's from the past that you've had an impact on that you run back into.
I just want to say, something? You meant a lot to me when I met you. And now I see that you're grown and what you're doing. So I worked at Del Mar Middle and High School, long-term sub, guidance counselor. And then I worked for Rural Cares. It was wraparound program. I was the cultural competency coordinator. I can't even say it.
I was gonna say, what is that? But that sounds like, okay.
But it was very interesting. How do we meet people where they are? It's like at Department of Social Services, most of their flyers at the time showed women. But what about a single man? Cultural competency, you have to know how to reach everybody. And this was several years ago. I was a DMC coordinator for the district, the Disproportionate Minority Contact Coordinator.
Thank you. Now, I know they mean Run DMC.
Not Run DMC. I say no, not Run DMC. And that is working. They were in every county in the Maryland, and we worked with the county and schools to find out why there's disparity of youth of color in the juvenile system. And we can come back and talk about schools in a little bit.
Yes. Break. Well, we're going to go ahead and go to break. Thank you, because this is just so much great information here. I almost don't even want to go to break, but this is awesome. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back with Mark Thompson, the original Mr. Community. Okay, I want to talk about schools a little bit because right now you're still in the school system, but not Wicomico.
Yeah, I retired. Another retirement. I retired from Wicomico County. It's 4 years ago now. And
they miss you.
I love it. I loved it, but I retired to go through to work full time or serve more at Adopt a Block. But then I found out that my wife called and said there's this position called Community Liaisons, Community Coordinator down in Worcester County. No one knew what it was, and I helped with the program up here. And I said, "Oh, I know what this is." They said, "They don't know what it is. Why don't you apply for it?" And I did. So I've been down there, and now I'm in Pocomoke.
Pocomoke County School?
Pocomoke.
That's not a county.
No. So it's so funny you say that. Pocomoke is part of Worcester County. It's the southernmost part.
Okay.
So you start off, people start in the north. They all know Stephen Decatur and Ocean City. And then you start moving in the middle, and everybody knows Snow Hill. But then they say Pocomoke, and they go, isn't that Somerset? No. Is that Virginia? No.
Yeah.
We're caught between the middle. And it's like that, where a lot of the people down in Pocomoke, a lot of them came from Virginia and stopped at Pocomoke City, or they came from Somerset County and stopped at Pocomoke City and Worcester County. So that's where I'm at. I serve as the community school liaison for Pocomoke Elementary School.
Wow.
Pre-K 3.
Now, what does that entail? What do you do with that?
So what I do is the same thing I've always done. And I say,
work with people.
Yeah. And I always say, I use it like this analogy. I'm the conduit between the community and the schools.
I like that.
I help both of them connect.
Sure.
And that's what I do. Try to find resources, bring it into the school, letting families know the school's safe. Come on in. Talk to us. Talk to teachers.
I like that.
So that's what I do down there, and I love it.
Well, that's definitely something I would like to see more here in Wicomico County. It's kind of unique, though, that because I actually have grandkids now. My goodness, got 8 of them. And yeah, well,
You have grown.
Yes, well, we had to pick up one from a certain school, and there's a guidance counselor there that has a last name that's like yours.
Thompson, maybe?
Yeah. So your son's following in your footsteps.
David is the guidance counselor at Chipman Elementary, which is, I still can't believe it. It was funny when I was in Wicomico and I would go in schools or someplace, and he's with me, and they'll say, Mr. Thompson. I go, yes. They go, oh, not you, him. And I go, no, I'm...
Right, he's David.
That's David. And it was wild when my dad was still living. He's been gone now for 2 years.
Yeah.
I would say call me Mr. Mark, because I haven't gotten to be that established to say Mr. Thompson. That's my dad.
That's right.
And Frederick Douglass Thompson, Reverend Frederick Douglass Thompson, was Mr. Everything in Erie, Pennsylvania. And it's so ironic that everything he did, I followed. And I had no idea.
Wow.
When he was, he worked at Gannon University. He was the upper bound director. He worked with keeping kids in college. I find myself doing the same thing in the school system. He retired after 25 years with Gannon University to take over for the city mission. I left FedEx after 25 years to take over for the Salvation Army. He helped write youth juvenile laws. And I find myself doing the same thing. When I was mentioned before our break, I was the DMC coordinator, disproportionate minority contact, working with youth involved in juvenile justice system. I'm chair of the Lower Shore Children's Center here in Salisbury, looking at, when children do something, they don't get charges. They get detained.
Wow.
And they go to detention centers around the state. What we're finding out is that a lot of our youth now, because family structure, dynamics, they're doing some pretty serious things now, making the community sometimes not that safe for our young people are just... And
it starts at home, though.
Oh, you know what else I did when I was in the school system?
What's that?
I passed the law or the policy for cell phones.
Really?
Why did I do that?
So wait a minute, you the one who brought cell phones in.
Oh my goodness! But think about when we passed that law or the policy for having cell phones. This was 15 years ago. We never thought it would bloom up like this.
Well, yeah, it definitely went up.
But one problem that I think that we did as adults, when we brought the cell phones in and gave cell phones to children, we didn't anticipate what they could do with them and how it could be such
technology has changed.
It's changed.
Yep.
And now we're in AI, which is a whole nother.
Oh yeah.
Another beast.
Well, I made comment on a couple of past segments where we've had some things happen in schools. One of my biggest concern is the fact that they have cell phones in school. Because when I grew up, I had my GI Joe taken from me. Now, when you have a fight in school, you ain't got to worry about hearing about it.
Nope.
All you do is just go on social media and Facebook and it's just the kids were just taken to a whole new level.
I was fortunate when I was on the school board. I went to a conference and met the writer of Freedom Fighters.
Okay.
Freedom Writers. Story about inner city school where a teacher came in and got the kids that were in the hood to read books. And it was so funny. And one of the episodes, and I can almost remember when there's going to be a fight in the school. If I say, I'm going to fight you, you'll tell your friend and a couple friends. And when you go outside, there'd be like 3 or 4 people there. That's it. Now, once I say I'm going to fight you, you text the whole school is outside.
Wow.
Waiting.
Wow.
It goes like that. It's instantaneous.
It's kind of scary because a lot of times when we wanted to get into a little fight or whatever, we talked about it in between classes. Now I think it's being actually prepped in the classroom.
You know what the children used to do, like comical kind of every school system really. Now children are they're typing in, meet me, wherever.
Wow.
And they're sending it out.
Wow.
And now they raise their hand, Miss Jones, can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, sure. Not knowing that they just set up a meeting.
Yeah.
Down the hall in the bathroom. And now there's going to be a lot of students. So, we get to that point, take their cell phones. And that's where I saw a lot of the charges came from in schools, from when the deputy came in. And that's another issue when the SROs in the schools.
It wasn't. When I was in school, I don't think there was really a need. I think they started as I was like in 10th grade, but we really didn't have a need for it before.
No, what the worst thing happened to you, say, Mr. Dave, go to the principal's office, and you'll be scared to death.
That'd be the end of the world for me. Because mom get that phone call.
Yeah. Now they're not scared, but now the deputy comes in the classroom, and they ask for the cell phone, and then there's an exchange, and then now the deputy's going to write them up. But now there's a new policy. Deputies have to stand back. And the whole Juvenile Reform Act, now anyone under 13, you can't really do anything with them, but take them back to their home.
Yeah. Sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
So that's what we're living in now.
Wow. And I mean, now, as far as what the kids are part of in these schools now, I mean, when I was in school, there was just a bare general math. You had your math, your science. Now they got all the kinds of stuff. I mean, you've got to watch what's going in the libraries. You've got to watch this. You got to watch that. Do you find that the kids are more distracted now?
Well, there's more things to distract them.
Yeah, not just cell phones. I mean, just with everything.
Well, there's so much in the school building now. And you mentioned books. Now the families are saying, well, don't put that book in the library. Don't do that book. And we're fighting all that. We have curriculum councils that review books. And who are these people that are reviewing these books? And why are they taking some books out, putting some in? I don't think the children really care one way or the other, but I think it's creating so much of a confusion in the school with the adults that they're losing sight of that child sitting there.
Oh, wow.
And now in the school, and I've always said this, and some people disagree, a lot of them disagree with what I say, but I think the school system has turned is the surrogate parent. And what I mean by that, we feed them breakfast,
that's the truth.
We feed them lunch, we keep them after school as long as we can to feed them dinner.
Sure.
We give them clothes. We do everything for them until the weekends, and even on some things, we open doors on the weekends when they come. So we really have become the surrogate family. And I think the school system needs to start really embracing that, meaning that now we're dealing with a generation of, I call them almost the prodigals, the ones who weren't successful in the school. Now they have children. They weren't successful. Now their children come to school.
Sure.
And we're trying to reach them and reach them at a point where they weren't successful. So now the school building is traumatizing for them because they remember their time. So they don't want to really get engaged. And then their children come in. And then the other part with parenting, I don't say bad parenting. They just don't know. They weren't raised. Now the children are raising themselves.
Yep.
The TV, the videos, the songs, TikTok. You know what? I did something so funny the other day.
What's that? You did a TikTok?
No, I wouldn't know what TikTok is.
This
and
one.
I'm gonna say this word. What's that? 6, 7.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm
6,
I
7.
have no idea what it was.
I'm still not knowing what it is.
I'm sitting there. I try to get kids involved in our announcements at school, and so I like to bring the young people and help do the announcements with me. And I say, "Hey, today's your birthday. Are you 6 or 7? 6, 7, 6, 7." I went, "What's he doing?"
I'm still trying to figure out this 6, 7 thing. I mean,
It's not. It's that brain rot they call it.
Wow.
It's just something, and I always say that young people speak that new tongue. In church, you would say, "Oh, Pentecostal people speaking in tongue." Well, the children are speaking in tongue that we don't understand because it's something. It's the language is different. So
really, they got text language. I ain't figured that out yet.
I don't know what that is.
No.
So we have so much that's engaging or taking them away.
Distracting them.
Distract the noise, I call it. I like my earbuds that I use. It's called noise canceling. And when I put them in and I hit that noise canceling, now I can focus on what I'm reading. I wish we could do that with all of our kids. Put noise canceling in their ears to get the distractions in this world.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
Concentrate on what we're trying to give you. Yeah.
Well, I know talking to Bishop Dickerson from the Christian Shelter, he actually had a young man that was there in his shelter that ended up getting a scholarship and going.
He sure did.
You know, doing something great. So my question is are you seeing kids that are impacted by their environment at home? Then in school you can see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that word resilience. Some children, I think it's an innate part that they are resilient. No matter what happens, they can get through it. That young man at the Christian Shelter, I forgot his name right now, though.
It starts with a T.
Yeah, he did very well because he had that innate ability inside him to say, I don't want to stay where I was.
Wow.
I want to go better. All the athletes, I love watching like UNSUNG on TV and talk about how they made it, or watching the athletes 30 for 30. How did they get to where they are? And you see they had something, they didn't stay where they were. Now we just have to keep motivating our children. Just, you can do better. You can make it. I tell them, you didn't have a father. I don't use that excuse no more. I had a dad, but I didn't really spend time with him because he was so busy working. So take where you are and improve on it. And just know, don't use those crutches as disability to hold you back. You have the power to do whatever you want. And now we're in an age where you can do anything. People are looking for people with talent and abilities and creativity. Take advantage of it. But I don't know where our children are right now. I don't want to say lost generation, but it's everything's coming to pass. And I always look at everything spiritually and say,
this is good.
The enemy is attacking our young people.
Because they're the future.
Because they're our future. If you can derail them, everything. So again, it gets back to adults. We can't get frustrated. Don't take it personal, but stay in there. Keep encouraging them.
Now, I remember when you was with Wycomico County Schools, I know my wife and I, of course, we weren't married then, but her son was in that school system, and I would see you at Walmart, and I'm like, hey, Xavier's not doing very well. And he'd be like, let me look at his grades, and you literally would look on your phone.
And pull it up.
Yeah. I mean, man, we missed that around here.
I know. I mean, you have to.
Do they still do that?
I don't know if they. You got to spend that time. I remember I was at the Regal Theater for a movie, and this thing went viral. I was coming out with my wife, and a couple of kids were standing around a deputy yelling at him. They were yelling at the deputy. So it's nothing. Our children aren't afraid of anybody, anything. Respect
for authority has left.
But we have to make sure they give us that.
Reinstall it.
Yeah. So I don't have children calling by my first name.
Good.
I don't say, hey, Mark.
My goodness, I wouldn't allow that as a kid.
It's Mr. Mark, Mr. Thompson.
It's Mr. Thompson.
Yeah. But our children are grown up. We couldn't have adult conversations. Now they're with their adults. But, so here they are, they're yelling at the deputy. Deputy's holding restraint. So I walked in and I said, hey, you guys, what are you doing? And I said, what's your name? And they told me their name, or someone else gave me their name. And I pulled it up on my phone.
You were good.
And I went, oh, and you live over here. How do you know that? Mm-hmm. And your parents, I'm going to call them right now.
I love that.
And
it helped us.
It stopped. That incident stopped. And I got home and I said, I'm going to do this. I did a text message, or I did a Facebook post. Mm-hmm. Man, I said, meet me at Wycomico Middle School in the Monday morning. Mm-hmm. I want to see you, parents of these children that were at the mall. And
did it show up?
Oh, yes. And it was a good turnout. We started with Judge Massarello. Mm-hmm. We were really getting kids engaged in lacrosse. We're doing at Doverdale Playground. A lot of things transpired from that. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get, I even talked with the management at Regal saying, I can get adults to stand in here and help. And they didn't want, they didn't want to show that it was having problems at the mall. So they didn't want to do it, but.
All about saving face.
Yeah, it kind of, but the people showed up, but we had some of the young people. I still remember that young man. He played lacrosse here and went to Worcester County. Mm-hmm. I think he played Stephen Decatur football or lacrosse down there. Doing really well, did well. It worked. Mm-hmm. But we got to step up sometime. Agitate.
So exactly. So speaking of being an agitator, when you coming back to Wycomico? Because they could definitely use you.
I'm still here. I'm going to be working more with Adopt a Block.
Okay.
I stepped away just to go down, just to work. We hired a good director, got it going, and now we're moving to another phase, I think. So I'm going to help with that. But there are some good people, with Jamichael.
Jamichael is great.
Moving. Right? Tom, sometimes, again, agitation's one thing, but you got to learn how to get along with everybody. Mm-hmm. Get everybody on your side, not just a certain population. Get everybody on your side, and then you can move it down the right track. So,
wow.
And there's other people out there. Again, unfortunately, right now, politics isn't where people want to be. Government.
You said something earlier, and I was about to ask you, why are you not on our school board here?
Well, I did.
They could definitely use you on the school board.
I always said I can do more from outside.
I understand that, dear.
I tell people, here's what you do. Go there and do this. Mm-hmm. And it worked. And I still know a lot of people. But it takes all of us just working together. And we all have to work together.
We do.
We got to roll in the same direction.
And I do know that we actually had a meeting with Dr. Stauffer maybe a month and a half ago, and you made a comment that it seems like the school has become the surrogate parent. He actually said there's in some cases where the school starts out from when the kid is born.
Yeah, the birth to 5. Yeah, program we have. Yeah, we sure do.
That just blew my mind because I know I was raised by a community. Growing in a place called Weetipquin where if you did something wrong, you got spanked in that yard, and by the time you run home thinking you're going to tell your side of the story, Mama already found out and you got it back there too. That worked. But nowadays, it's like we said, discipline is not the same anymore.
No, and unfortunately, it's the point, I remember getting paddled, and I always tell that story. Nowadays, people will grab the paddle and hit you with it. The kid will beat you, the teacher. Sadly. So we're just at this point, but we always have to come together and do more things like you're doing. Just talk and be honest. And sometimes you just got to be honest. If you don't know how, just say, I don't know how, I need help. And there's people that can help you, but just be honest about what you're doing, and let's again start rolling in the same direction.
Well, like you said, you're a chip off of your dad's block, if you will.
Yeah,
your son's going.
I got another one down in Charlotte. Yeah, and he's going to ministry. Joshua.
Look at that.
I was just laughing the other day. I remember he was in Washington D.C. He went to Hampton. The other ain't you. Well, we don't do that. When I do that, he gets mad because I am.
He won't see that part.
I am not part of those fraternities. We didn't have one where I went to another school that didn't have those kind. But and now he's something else now, blue and white, but I don't know what that is. But he did something in D.C. when he was there, living there, and I still remember doing Thanksgiving. My wife and I went. He said, "Dad, we're gonna feed the hungry, the homeless down in a park in D.C. I think Lafayette Park." it was wild, the number of people. And I said, Joshua, how do you know how to do this? He said, Dad, I just got some groups together and we.
Did you really ask him? And
I know. And he he should have done.
And you and I both, I mean, knowing the Bible, bring a child up in the way they should go.
Yeah.
And we brought those young men up the right way.
And they're doing excellent.
I mean, like literally, when we pick up our grandson, and Mr. Thompson literally puts him in the car, fastens him in, and he'll let us know if it's been a little disciplinary. But he said, "That's okay." I talked to him, and of course, I'm sitting here thinking, "Man, you just like your." Actually, I say it out loud. Just like.
And just wait, when they get older, they'll remember what he did.
Wow. Mark, I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
I'm going to have you back on the show again.
Yeah,
keep doing what you're doing.
God willing, we'll keep going. I just say this one: check your health. Stay. You know, I'm 10 years, 11 years prostate cancer I had, and I'm doing good. I had a scare this summer. I had sepsis. And from urinary tract, I didn't think, men, yes, you can get urinary tract infections. From my prostate, and I just realized my wife saved me, took me to the hospital, spent 8 days in there, and I'm better, recovered. But take care of your health. Take care of your health.
And that's something that actually Bishop Dickerson just went through a little bit of one. And I would love to have him on the show. We're going to have you back on the show and talk about health care. I mean, I'm definitely, thank you for that. Man. I'm going to have to do the same thing.
Appreciate you.
This has been Bridging the Gap. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great one.